Hello, beautiful Virgo gang, Virgo Sun, Moon Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to your October monthly tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to do a spread on love and romance, relationships, and then we are going to talk about money, career, and finances. So stick around for both readings, but do come into them with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to release them. You may want to revisit them at a later date. Sometimes things make more sense in the future. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice and guidance. That being said, let's try and have some fun and get you some helpful, insightful messages. All right, Virgo, let's do it. Bottom of the deck is King of Wands. Powerful, very powerful and fiery energy. Let's see. Possibly leaning into some creative energy or creative projects this month. So let's start with love and romance. We have the Emperor, we have the Moon and the Six of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. For some of you, it's like you're asking for what you need in a relationship and you're still not getting it. But what's interesting is like what may have... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back on that a little bit. I'm going to backtrack. I feel like maybe you're in a relationship or were in a relationship where there was an equal give and take, and you may have felt like you were dealing with someone who on their best days were very fun to be around, a very fun, charismatic, warm energy. But sometimes when they would withdraw their energy, there was an element to them that was a little bit selfish or seemed like it didn't have sort of the right finesse or sort of a lack of caring about your feelings or your emotions or where you stood. And so you may have, I feel like in the present, you're approaching this conversation or this person and trying to sort of instill in them the idea that things need to change if we want success, if we want to make this work. I feel like initially you're going to be met with, I'll be honest, like maybe a little bit of defensive energy, which I don't love because that shows sort of a lack of maturity. However, I am going to say that if you guys decide to try and make it work or give this person a little bit more time, and if you feel like they took the message to heart, even if they're not changing immediately, I think this person needs time to let the message kind of sink in and really sort of ponder it, think it over, let it kind of marinate. I do think you will see changed behavior slowly. I think this person was a little bit guarded to having the conversation to begin with, but I do think they're going to open up to you more. So this could be a new relationship. This could be sort of a rut you've hit in a long-term relationship. It has to do with the idea of selfishness, or just being more self-focused and self-oriented. It's like you've lost that connection to collaborate and have this equal partnership. And I say I think it's more your person. I do think if you approach the conversation with a gentle nature and maturity and not wanting to attack your person or jump down their throat, they will receive the message. I don't think you're going to see like this immediate reaction in terms of change behavior, because it's something that sort of hits them out of the blue. It's like it wasn't something they were doing consciously, and so that change behavior, it takes them some time to process it, is what I'm saying. But I do think they're going to let their guard down. So very rarely am I like, hang in there if your person's acting like a D-bag, right? However, that being said, I do think your person likes you enough and is engaged in this relationship enough to want to try and make it work with you. I do see that. However, if this person is not respecting you or being abusive in any sense, then you know what I'm going to say, right? Not worth it. You need to move on and protect your energy, protect yourself, right? I don't really get that sort of vibe of leaving a relationship entirely. It seems like it might be going through a rough patch, or maybe you guys have had your first fight if this is a new relationship. Again, this person will open up. It's just, you have to be a little bit patient with them. They don't really do vulnerable very well, and this is forcing them to kind of be in a state of vulnerability and have you encouraging them through it. That's going to be very important. This might involve an Aries, it might involve a Sagittarius, it might involve a Pisces, or vice versa. You might be that person who's being approached by your person, especially a Pisces, saying like, I need more from you. This isn't quite doing it. Pisces and Virgo can be a wonderful mix, but there can also be sort of this, polarity or opposition, so to say, where there's a lot of opposite energy, but together you guys can come together and really kick ass and be a strong couple. So give it time if you think that would be appropriate. What you need to let go of is the 10 of Wands. Distractions, unnecessary distractions. Some of you, it's like you need to get off your phone or your person. Yeah, just staring at a screen all day and not being present with your person. It's like when you go out to dinner and everybody's on their phone, or you're supposed to hang out and watch a movie together and someone's checking their email. Unnecessary technology and distractions, you need to get rid of that. Let's see. 10 of Wands. It's funny, in this specific reading, I'm getting the idea of feeling exhausted and tired and burdened, but making no effort or attempt to try and change any patterns or like lifestyle changes. It's like, oh my God, I've gained so much weight. I'm so disgusted with myself, blah, 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 blah. But then you're not making any changes to your diet. Or like, I'm so lazy, this and that. Like my body just feels out of shape. I feel stiff, this and that. But someone invites you to go walk with them at the park and you're like, nah, I'm going to stay home and play video games. And obviously those are two very specific examples, but there's something, it's like a daily routine that it's just you're feeling stuck and you're more and more deflated by sort of the lack of progress in this area of your life. And so you need to like stop fantasizing about all the changes you're gonna make or things you should do, and you need to actually do them. It might be that you're too overwhelmed because you have so many ideas of how you're going to change that making 8 changes all at once, yes, that is a lot. So, pare it down. Just make one simple change, Try one a day or one a week or, one a month, depending on, the level of intensity of what you're trying to change here. But especially with diet and exercise, your health is kind of coming to the forefront of, for a lot of you, something needs to change. And the thing is, it will, but you have to be motivated to do it. It's not just going to happen. You know this, right? And sort of hoping that, I don't know how this relates, but the idea of, it's just going to like fall into your lap. Like it'll just happen when it happens. I disagree. It's like, no, it's up to you to make it happen. Like you're the magician, you hold the wand, you hold the power. So it's like, it's up to you. You have the control over this situation. Life isn't going to happen to you, I guess is sort of what I'm saying here. There might be a relationship with a Cancerian energy that's coming in, or someone who is a teacher, someone who works with children. There's like a very maternal energy. It could be Virgo, it could be Taurus, it could be Cancer, possibly Libra, Leo, for those who are kind of looking for love and romance and dating. So think about a new pair of high heels or a new pair of shoes. I have no idea what that means, but it's a confirmation for some of you. So I don't know, you may have gone on a date with someone and they commented on your shoes. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It seems kind of cute though. I like it. I like the energy and the vibe there. So if that makes sense in terms of a person, or you always notice their shoes or whatever, yeah, that's like a sign. Let's see. So then what you need to embrace, what is like help available to you, something you can take advantage of this month. You have the 6 of Cups and the 2 of Swords. For some of you, it has to do with leaving the past in the past and not letting past narratives about your love life come into the equation, or it's like replaying like loops in your head, like that feedback loop or narratives of the past, especially more kind of like, woe is me, things never work out. The thing is, your vibe seems to be like pretty good in this reading. I don't see a lot of cards that I'm particularly worried about, other than past narratives of, especially narratives where it feels like you're always mothering people in the relationships and you have to be the perfectionist and, cross the T's and dot the I's. And it's almost like, this person would be lost without you. That isn't super healthy because you're attracting, energies and relationships where it's like there's a childlike energy that becomes like codependent on you. And bear with me, Virgo, I don't mean this to sound as harsh as it probably is going to, but there is an element to that strategy of dating where it's like you need to feel needed, and it somehow validates your existence in the relationship if you serve a purpose of being of service in that, maternal, paternal, mothering role, when in reality, like, that's not a super healthy dynamic, because there's also a power dynamic to that. It's like, the teacher and the mentor, or the parent and the child. And so something about the way you were raised and sort of the relationships you saw playing out between your parents may sort of subconsciously be filtering into like your own approach to dating. So that's just something to be aware of, the idea of past relationships and again, sort of the unequal power dynamics. Let's put it that way. If you're the one who's kind of all over the place and a little bit scatterbrained and you find yourself connecting with other people who are, rock solid and have it all together, I'm not saying you shouldn't and want to go after that type of energy, but it's almost like you're trying to live out the part of yourself that wants those qualities via another person when you really need to like implement them into your own being and your own self and your own spiritual path. Ooh, that felt important, guys. That felt heavy, but good. Let's see, what else is coming in? There may be a Libra that you don't see coming, like kind of out of the clear blue. You may end up hitting it off with a Libra, possibly a Leo or a Scorpio, or Aquarius. There's a couple signs that like there's an element of surprise and mystery where it just kind of drops out of the clear blue. So if you're single and looking, put yourself in social situations, you may just end up hitting it off with a couple air signs too. You may sort of have a decision to make, because I see you having a couple options in terms of dating, particularly 2 air signs that might be vying for your attention. And the thing is, it's almost like you kind of like the attention from both. So you're not necessarily looking to like lock it down with one immediately. There's kind of like this, I'm going to play the field. I'm going to see how the energy with this person, and I'm going to see what it's like with that. I always say there's nothing wrong with casually dating and meeting up with multiple people, but make sure that is put on the table sooner than later, especially if you feel like someone in a relationship, or I'm sorry, someone in the mix is sort of under the impression that you guys are exclusive. Like, make it known like, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious, but I really enjoy your company and let's keep hanging out. That's, it doesn't have to be a big thing, but I do think it's important to be an honest communicator, because some people are not into that playing the field, dating multiple people at once. And so, yeah, that eventually that's going to have to be a conversation so that feelings don't get hurt and ultimately that you don't self-sabotage, right? It's not about keeping secrets from anybody. It's just about being open and honest about the lifestyle you're choosing and the way you want to date at this point in your life. Also, something from the past. Let's see. Something about a family friend or a neighbor, someone who maybe you knew in childhood. You may connect again on Facebook or online. It's possible you could bump into them in person. I think that's less likely for most of you. But yeah, there's something about like a childhood friend or a neighbor that you may end up connecting with maybe on like a dating app. And you're like, oh my gosh, we know each other. How have you been? And you actually end up hitting it off. I really like that energy. So that seems cool. All right, let's talk about career, money, and finances. Should we do this one? We'll give it a try. For Virgo, they are looking for some helpful, insightful messages about their career, about their financial health, money, job applications, salaries, I don't know, things of that sort. Ooh, coming right out. The 9 of Cups, you're going to get your wish. 9 of Cups has come out a lot in the past. It's very interesting. The Justice card. Anything else for Virgo? The 8 of Wands. All different directions. I get this idea of like a compass that constantly keeps changing its direction. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet, but we'll see. Can I get a clarifier on each of those, please? Thank you. 8 of Cups, the 6 of Wands. Okay, perfect. All right, let's do this. You're coming off of some sort of win or victory in your personal life, especially regarding like your love life or emotions, or recovery from illness for some of you. Something that where you finally feel like your health and wellness is becoming more stable, in which case your internal balance is really nice. And now it seems like you have a world of opportunity in your hand. It's almost like you have an idea or a project or a proposal or something, and there's like 100 different ways you could go with it. And so the universe is saying you need to quiet your mind, because there's a lot of like, I'm hearing like, there's a lot of hum and buzz and hiss. There's a lot of external noise. A lot of you should meditate on this idea and just simply ask the universe, what is it that I need to know? Because there's one main intuitive download that you're going to get, and it's going to clarify it all. And the thing is, internally with the High Priestess, it's like you already know the answer. It's about trusting your intuition. And to be honest, I am getting keep it close to you. It's not something you need to go like sharing with friends and family and asking advice and critique and approval, because it's only gonna like not confound, what is the word? It's going to convolute. I don't know. It's going to make it way more complicated than it needs to be. Trust your internal guidance system with Justice and the High Priestess, because the answer is already within. You just have to put yourself in an environment that is still and quiet and allow the answer to come. But it seems like you have a lot of potential and opportunity, and it's like this inertia that's building, so that when you decide how to move forward, it's like you're going to be off to the races. It's going to move very quickly when you decide to move on it. But until then, make sure you have absolute clarity on which direction you're going in, because otherwise you're going to end up going down a lot of like rabbit holes that like lead to nothing. It's like you thought you wanted to do this, but then you kind of changed your mind, so you did it half-assed, and then you don't want to finish it, but you don't want to abandon it either. Like there's a lot of like, I don't want to say messiness, because I mean, ultimately it's okay to make this opportunity, it's going to be a process. It's not all going to be linear in a straight shot. Of course not. But you can avoid going down a lot of different side roads that you don't need to if you sort of spend time, again, getting more clarity on the actual goal and what you're trying to accomplish from this. Okay. So then in what you need to release, the 5 of Cups, for me, this is speaking about just the idea of moving forward on something. There may be a lot of fear attached to it because it's a new direction, it's in a new territory, it's in a new direction, which I think is great. It's getting you out of your comfort zone. But as you're thinking this through, sometimes you have a tendency to swing more negative and go to all these conclusions about, or false beliefs really, like all the things that could go wrong. Well, what if I invest this money and I don't get it back? And what if this happens? Or what if I don't collaborate well with this person? Or what if the client is crazy? 5 of Cups is like glass half empty, crying over spilt milk. Ultimately, it's about cutting your losses in some capacity, but really, I think because you're being asked to let it go, it's this mentality of nothing ever works out. Because if that's how you're operating in your manifestation, then that's what you're going to get. So you have no reason not to believe that this is going to, succeed with, flying colors and it's going to be great. But you have to believe it. You have to truly believe that. So how do you get yourself to a place where you can let go of the negative self-talk or criticism or disbelief? That's a question to ask yourself. And then help available to you, or what you need to embrace, what you need to lean into, opportunities available to you in career and finances. 6 of Wands, I like. Promoting yourself, possibly spending more money on marketing or hiring someone to do some marketing or social media for you, that really puts you in a good light. Because I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound like a criticism, and maybe it is a tiny bit, but there's a reason behind it, because I think you guys need to hear it. You're not good at selling yourself. You're not good at talking up how great you are and the services you offer, and how working with you is going to be great for the client and it's going to be life-changing and they should absolutely do it. You're very modest, which is great in some aspects of life, but when you're trying to make it in business, especially for my entrepreneurs out there, you need to have someone come in and write up that biography for you, or do your website, or pick and choose, the portraits or the candid of you that you're going to post, because it's going to put you in a good light. You're not going to be too self-conscious of, oh, I look silly in that one, my hair is not right in that one. You need someone else to come out and like cherry pick the good stuff. Not that they even have to cherry pick, because there's so much to work with, but you tend to be self-deprecating or shy or timid. Like you need someone to you need a Sagittarius. I'm going to say it. You need a Sagittarius to come in and, shout it from a rooftop with a megaphone, like Virgo is awesome and you need to work with them, and here's why. You need like a good promoter. Or you just need to research that or watch YouTube tutorials to really sort of flex that muscle so it becomes stronger, so that you get better and more at ease with selling yourself with confidence. That's really important for you Virgos. And so I hope you didn't take that as a criticism. Modesty and humility are great in some aspects of life, but right now they're not serving you. Right now it's like you need to oversell yourself a little bit. I'm not saying you need to overpromise in terms of what your skills and what you can deliver. I think you need to be realistic in what you're able to do. But yeah, you might need someone to add some bells and whistles and shine it up a bit, zhuzh it up, if you will. So then you also have the 8 of Cups. Let's see. In pursuit of bigger and better things. Again, the idea of cutting your losses. Some of you may be on the brink of going into a new job or a new field or a new territory, but you're still emotionally attached to what you've already built and created. all of that is, again, something you can put on your resume, tools in your tool belt. It's skills that have because of an experience, but is it emotionally fulfilling? I think part of you are sentimental about it, like the people you've worked with or the mentors you've had or this and that. There's like an emotional attachment to the now and to the present, but I think you're meant for something so much greater. And it's not saying you have to tear away from it all at once, but the Eight of Cups is about moving forward despite not knowing what the future holds, or, moving through your fear, knowing that things are going to pan out, and that if you feel like the universe is guiding you, then you are meant to grow and expand elsewhere. And again, it doesn't have to be this drastic all or nothing. It could be over time you start, working less hours for a certain position or company or role. But it's, like you're meant to go places. But again, it's so funny. I keep getting this idea of spreading yourself really thin because there's so much you want to do. There's a part of you guys that have a very strong Sagittarius energy in this reading. I don't know, some of you are like Sag Rising. Oh, it's funny. I know a Virgo who's Sag Rising. Interesting. Not that I think she's watching this per se. But anyway, Sagittarian energy coming in. It's like this Jupiter energy of it's all inclusive and it wants to do everything, and it's going to be fun and it's going to be a party, and there's no negativity, there's no self-doubt. Sometimes it's overinflated, but it can also sort of have that thing of sometimes there is a thing is like too much. Sometimes we have to pare it down. We have to be a little bit more realistic. Your earthy Virgo energy is going to help you with that. It's going to be grounded. It's going to be practical. It's going to be a little bit more analytical. So you need that kind of Sagittarius enthusiasm to get this project started and off the ground. But again, balance with that earthy, reality. And then the Page of Coins, and this is the Page of Bitcoins. It's kind of a cheeky little deck. Let's see. Yeah, good salesmanship. Some of you may already work in sales, and the thing is, like, you're very strong in it, and it's saying, so utilize those skills for something that's more personal to you. Utilize your business savvy mind, or however you want to say it, in a field or in a company or a job or some environment or location that it means a lot to you. It's closer to your heart than what you're doing now. Again, some of you may end up going rogue or solo or independent, or gaining some sort of title or position where there's a lot more freedom, and I don't know if it's creative control, but there's a lot more authority and agency in terms of how you want to make it or how you want to mold it. Good showmanship. Again, another great Sagittarius word. It's so funny. I know I'm reading for you guys, but I'm just getting so much Sagittarian energy. All these arrows too, the archer, so to say. Aim high, dream big. I think your career, not just in the month of October, because it seems so much bigger than that, but in the coming years, it's going to take you to a lot of new places that you're not necessarily anticipating right now. I think this is a lot bigger than you think. And so cast a wider net. Again, if you're vision boarding or whiteboarding or manifesting or journaling, just to get your ideas down on paper, that's a good way to start, but it's going to change and transform. And so whatever you're doing, there needs to be a lot of room for adaptability and changing with the times, changing with technology, changing with media, something like that. A lot of you are gifted performers, whether you know it or not. And so there may be a opportunity where you're sort of put in front of the camera for some reason. And maybe it's just social media. Maybe it's like you're going to be the face of this thing, or you're going to do the product or the advertisement, or, you're going to do the tutorial. You're going to be like the talking head on camera, right? Even if it's not, dancing on stage. For some of you, sure, why not? But there is this idea of sort of the performance element, especially for those who have strong placements in Leo. If you're cuspy with Leo, or you have a Venus in Leo or Mercury, there is something about putting on the show and being in the spotlight or the limelight and owning that. And even if it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, it's good to get out of your comfort zone, because it's going to show you these skills that you didn't even know you have. And I think some of you are very nervous to do this, but I don't know. My thing here, it's like, you should do it even more then, because that's a sign. It's like, it's something you're meant to do, but the apprehension is the nervousness of wanting to deliver and wanting to do it right, and you will. That's where like that Virgo mentality really suits you, of like, I'm going to get it right. You know, it might take me time. I may have to edit and, you know, refine it and retool it, but like, I'm going to make this awesome. And you are, because you wouldn't put yourself in a situation where you're going to look stupid, right? Though even if you do, it's not a big deal, because it's like you're learning. Don't be afraid to admit that, like, I don't know this, so I'm enthusiastic to learn, but like, I'm going to make mistakes. You don't really have to say that. It's almost like that's assumed, or that's part of the process, and it's okay. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. You know, I think that's really important, Virgo. Now, you didn't have a lot of Pentacle cards come out, so I always take that to mean money's going to be about the same, just in the month of October. I don't see anything shocking taking off. I think you need to release fears of losing money for sure, but that's more mental energy of putting time into worrying. You need to let go of that. And emotional attachments to things and possessions, that's not helping you too. It's putting you more in this like scarce mentality. So do your best to kind of release fears regarding money and stuff and your livelihood. And again, lean into that sort of everything's going to work out because I have faith. Faith is a very, very important keyword or term when we're talking about that kind of Sagittarian energy. And for some reason, that's coming in very strong in your reading. Again, Libra, Cancer, other earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, some of those signs may come through in the month of October to help you or collaborate with you or just as a new energy in your field or your career world. So anyway, all right, that's what I got for you, Virgos. We're going to wrap it up with a couple oracle cards, and I will send you off on your way. We're going to start with the Sacred Destiny Oracle. We'll give it a little shuffle for Virgo. Is there anything else that I need to tell Virgo, something we need to underscore, another message they need to hear for the month of October for my Virgos out there? Remember to like the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Flexibility. Hey, we said that earlier. I love it. I'm going to read from the book here. Whoops, too far. Whoops. All right, flexibility. I just saw it. Okay. The Sacred Landscape wants you to know the following. The meaning of this card is rich and varied. It cautions you to be flexible in your life. Be willing to bend and yield. There are times to stand strong, but there are also times to go around a situation rather than face it head on. This card suggests being amiable to change. It is also a fantastic card for abundance and prosperity. It suggests that if you are flexible, prosperity can and will come your way in all areas. Additionally, it suggests a time of rapid growth ahead. Don't resist it. The time is right for this surge of spiritual growth to occur. And it's got a cool tiger on it. Especially for those born year of the tiger. I feel like that's in Chinese astrology or Chinese zodiac, I feel like that's a triple confirmation. I don't know what year of the tiger is. I know one of them I think is 87, I believe. All right, and since I'm starting this in Libra season, I thought we'd do the Rose Oracle. It's pretty, it's girly, it's feminine. Let's see, the Rose Oracle, a message for my Virgo gang. One more message to wrap it up. Healing the mother line, healing ancestral work, mother line, and growing up. All right, healing is possible. It may not be straightforward or easy, but it is possible. It can be felt forward and back. Your ancestors past and future are singing with you. It is time to release our mothers all the way back from what they may not have been able to give, to find ways to cultivate loving mother within, to treat ourselves with the same deep reverence, adoration, understanding, and compassion that we longed for all along. You can be that for yourself today. You can meet yourself where others could not. And as you do, future ancestors will bless you for finding the courage to release and heal deeply. The Rose Transformation asks, confirmations. I reach all the way back to the original mother, and I set all the mothers and myself free. All right, Virgos, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.